Hi, this is Raymond from EVOffer. Today we will try to show you how to do an installation about our electric tailgate system. This is a Mark 2.5 system. It's pretty stable and we have this for more than a year now. So I'll talk through about what's included in the kit for you. So in the kit, first you will find two struts. One is labeled L, that means left side of the car, and one is labeled R. So they're pretty much the same. The difference is this thing. The left one, this is behind it. So if you install it, you will not see this little piece here. So you hide it. If you install it on the right side, then you will see this thing. So, but besides that, they are identical. So the next thing, this is the foot sensor. If you have choose the foot sensor option, you will be given the foot sensor. We'll talk to you about it later. And you have a bag of wires. We'll talk through it later. And there's another wire with like the fasteners, the button, the buzzer, and the fuse for the power tapping wire. So besides that, you will get two extension cable for the strut. One is longer and one is shorter. You will also get a latch motor. And then the last thing is two control unit. One is a big one, the main control unit, and one is a small one, which you will install inside the hatch. So next we will talk about the tools that you will be needed. So these are the tools that you need to do the install. The first thing is the electrical drill. That's to drill the hole for the button. A T45 wrench. So this is a T45. It's quite, you need to find it. It's not common, but it's a T45. A 10 millimeters head socket. So try to do a short wrench. The shorter it is, the easier it is to do the power tapping. We recommend you to get a plastic handle. If you don't have a plastic handle, remember to wrap it with electrical tape. Otherwise, when you do when you are loosening the screws, this might hit the ground and then do a shock. So it's recommended to wrap it if you have a metal handle. A small flathead screwdriver. This one is optional. It's needed for a right-hand drive car, but I think it's not needed for left-hand drive car. So this is a T20 screwdriver. Yeah. So electrical tape, fishing wire are needed. This one is optional. It's just an electrical screwdriver, but we don't usually use that much. And a pry tool can be useful as well. So electrical tape, I think I mentioned it. So these are the tools that you will need it. So during the installation, I will try to first swap the two struts, and then I will run the wire through this tube to here and do some connection in this area. And then after that, I will go to the front of the car to do the power tapping, and also the canvas tapping in the rear seat around the center console. So last, I will do the latch swapping. I will swap this out with the latch and then do some more like wire connection here. So this is basically the step you will be doing. So now let's try to start with the strut replacing. First, I will try to do the strut swapping. Let's start with the left one first. I usually start with the left one. So in the kit, you will find this little foam piece. It's a very useful piece that we can put in between the strut and the glass. This is to prevent you from hitting the strut to the glass when you remove it. So just keep it there first. And then now get our small flathead screwdriver. There you can find a channel here. Just insert it inside. Just insert it like this. And then you can try to pull it. But before you pull it, it's easier to pull if you can use one hand to push up the hood a little bit to release the tension. and then just jiggle it a little bit by bit, and then it will be out. So you see, this offers the protection to the glass to prevent you putting too much force and then break the glass. So after that, now I will go ahead and remove the lower joint here. It's the same, just insert the flathead screwdriver into the channel and then pull it out. So please note that after you remove the strut, the hood, the hatch will start to goes down. So if you have someone to hold it for you, it would be better. So now we can set this. So the wire is on the bottom side. So I'll just try to fit it. So you can just align the ball joint here with here. And then before you put it into the upper ball joint, I strongly recommend to remove the other strut first, because once you set it here, it will be very difficult to remove the strut. So I'll just do the same thing. I'll remember the form. I did not do it, but yeah, remember to do it, yeah. So after I removed it from the upper ball joint, I can now fit the left strut into the joint here. So now you can go ahead and remove the right strut. So now I'll go ahead and fit the right strut. But actually, it's better if you can just if you can install this one after you run the wire up. But for me, I'll just do it now. So I'll just install this and then install here. Because if you do it after you run the strut, run the wire, there is more room for you to do the wiring. But for me, it's fine for me, so I'll just install it. So on the strut wire, you will see this little rubber piece. So normally it's not used. There's no use for that unless you want to drill the hole in here and then put the wire, run the wire from here. Then this one will be used as a insulation cap to prevent the water getting in. But what we are doing, we don't like the idea of drilling the hole, but this is provided just in case if you want to drill the hole here. So now we'll teach you how to run the wiring. Let's try to take off this part first. So just pull this part out and set it aside. Then pull out this one, sealing, and then just set it here. There will be some glue on it, so just try to prevent it from hitting the body, or then otherwise you will have a difficult time. You will spend a lot more time to remove the adhesive. So I usually just set it like this. So the way I run the wire is I will run this two connector down in here, the gap here, and then I will run the wire to here. So let me take out the tab here. There's two clips here, so you can just pry it out. Okay, so now I can show you here. You can see that there's a cap here and another cap in here. We lost it, but there's one cap here and one cap here. So both are blue and you will not miss it. So the way we do the wiring is to remove this cap, and then we run the wire here and then go all the way in. So there's an easy way and a hard way, a more difficult way. If you have this cover, you will make the wiring a lot easier. This cover appear on all the car after around mid 2019. But if your car is before mid 2019, you might not have this cover. Then you need to run it by a more difficult way. But it's not difficult, but I'll show you. So you need to have fishing tape, fishing wire here. Do it from here. Fish the wire from this hole upward until you can get it from here. See? Okay. So now you have your fishing wire here. You can just wrap them together and then go down. Yeah, this is more difficult way. Now I teach you the easier way if you have that bottom cover. So I pull this out again. What you need is a coin or something like this. Here you can see two fasteners holding the piece. So we'll just insert it into the channel and rotate 90 degrees to unlock it. So once both of them are unlocked, you can just pull it out. So this is the wire that we are running down. The only challenge is this bigger connector. It might not get through the gap here. You have two ways to do it. The first way is try to disconnect remove the terminal from the connector. I won't do it this way. Let me show you another way. So normally I will use some like flathead screwdriver to do some pivoting, to enlarge the gap a little bit, and now just insert it inside. Yeah, so it goes through now. Yeah, the small one is a lot easier. So now you can see I get it through. So I can just run the wire, run it. Okay, so the wire is pretty much in. Let me get back here, and what I can do now is to put back the seal in place. So from the cover remove, I can easily find the wire. So then I can just use my hand to fit it back into the hole. Just try to fit it with my another hand. So now, see, I can fit it. Yeah, so the wire is out now. So now I have run both of the wire here. So I just go ahead and connect the extension wire. This one, for the left one, connect the longer wire. And then I just run it below here, all the way to this area. So I just set it here first. And the shorter one, I'll just connect it also. Then I'll lift the wire here. So if you don't have the foot sensor, you can just put this cover back. If you have the foot sensor, it will teach you how to run the foot sensor wire at last. So now let's try to get to this part. So a lot of people don't know how to remove this cover and put this cover back in. I'll teach you how to do it. So normally I'll just use my finger to grab here and then just pull down here. So after you get this cover out, some of the green fasteners will stay in this cover and some of them will remain in the body of the car. So I teach you how to remove this without damaging the fasteners. So it's quite simple. What you did is the pliers. So I'll just grab it here. Just grab it. Grab it, but don't cut it. Grab it and then rotate it. Pivot it down, and then you can remove it very easily. For the four white one here, I don't recommend removing it at all because this is a Tesla fasteners and they usually just stick with the body. If you force it to be out, it will break and it will not hold as tight as it used to be. So I just normally leave this here and then I'll teach you how to put this back with this fasteners on the body. So, but for this one, I'll just let it back to here. So it's normal you don't have this tool here. In the past, Tesla would include these two fasteners, but in the later model, I think they omitted. Yeah, they think it's just extra one that is useless. So they don't put this two anymore. So now, let's get started with the wiring. To run the wiring, first we need to remove this little fasteners on the right side of your trunk. So you can find it here. Use the flathead screwdriver to just pry it out. Keep it somewhere. Keep this somewhere. So you can pull out after you remove both. Yeah. And then from here, you can see a little hole. This is usually where I run my wire. So let me show you which wire to run. So from the back here, you will find this connector with one black connector and gray connector and with a purplish connector. So this is the wire we need to run up. we need to run the gray connector to the hatch area. So usually I would just do it like this. Here on the right side of the trunk, you will see this cap. Just loosen it. Then with this wire, I will just run it from the hole using my bare hand. I'll run it through the hole here. You can see it from here. I just run it here. You see, it's very easy to go through this hole. I don't need to use any fishing tools to do it. So I'll just pull it, keep on pulling it from here to here, and from here around to the middle of the trunk. That will be enough length. So I'll just set this length and then try to run the wire. So to run the wire, here there's two wire tie. I usually don't destroy them. So I need a needle thing, or a very small flathead screwdriver will do. I'll just insert here and then pull this out. After you insert it, it loosens the tab, and then you will be able to pull out really easy. So I insert and then pull it out. So now the wire is loose, and now I'll loosen this one first too. So now take out your fishing wire. Don't take a thick one. A smaller one is preferred, a thinner one. Just insert it from the top and then all the way go down. So try to feel where it is, and then try to help the wire a little bit to find its way. So normally I would, this one here, the corner is the most difficult part. I'll just try to use my hand to feel where it is, and then try to help it to go through the space. So once it goes through the corner, you can feel it, and I think it's here now. Yeah. So here it is. So now it's time to run this wire. So I'll tie them together with electrical tape and then run up. So just one friendly reminder, don't do it like this. If you do it like this, and then after you run up, and then you will find that you have a trouble, and then you need to remove the strap or rerun the wire. So make sure they are on the same side here, and then run the wire. So let me get my electrical tape here. So I just wrap it around. So remember, the fishing of the wire, I think, is the most difficult part of this kit install. So the tips is try to use some lubricant. A dish detergent can help as well, actually. That's what I use for most of my case. So just try to set the connector as low profile as possible, so you can run up the tube. So here I have run all the way here, but now the tip, try to wrap more after the tips to smoothen the edge here, so it can go a little bit better. So I'll just wrap a little bit more after the connector, so just to smoothen the edge a little bit. So now I'll apply some of my detergent, or your own way, and then just try to lubricate it a little bit, and then now I can run it up. The first challenge you will hear is the corner here. I'll just try to help it a little bit with my hand, squeeze it a little bit here. Okay, you get through. So now it should be fine. Don't over pull it, just try to do it slowly. It's already here. So after you pass it, it should be able to come out. So if you have a better quality lubricant, it will run a lot easier. So it's almost out. Yeah, I can see the tape already. Pull the remaining of the wire out. Okay, so now the wire is done. So I just put this cap back in place. Just squeeze it. Okay, and here just wrap it around again. and then tighten it. So this wire, I'll continue to run it. So here, let me teach you a trick to get this cap back in place. Get your small flathead screwdriver. In here you can see 2 tabs. So I just push it downward and then pull it out. Push it downward. And then you can see I just push it and pull, push and pull, and then the whole thing will be out. So then you can just install the rubber cap around it. Again, make sure it's secured, and you just click back. Now we will install this small control unit. I already put some double-sided tape behind it. You can get it from our kit. So I'll just stick it here against this wall. Don't stick it on here, because if you stick it here in the summer, the heat from the sun might loosen the adhesive. So we found that this is the better place. Okay. Just stick it here, and then you can find 2 ports. One is the one that you run from the trunk area, insert it, and the other one, try to get this cable with the yellow connector. It's very easy to recognize it. So there's a gray connector as well. Just plug it in. And then for this one is for the button, and then we will do this part first. So for this part, you can see 1 bypass and 2 bypass. So for the white bypass, you just disconnect the connector from the latch, and then just connect it to our bypass, and then reconnect the other side back to the latch. And for this one, you will do this thing here. So there's a lock, so pull out and then push and pull. So what I did was, let me try to connect it. Pull out and then push down, and then you can be pulled out. So we'll do the connection here, and then connect this back to the external release. After you do the connection, all the wiring in the hatch area is done. So you can just use the cable tie to tidy up the wire a little bit. Yeah. So just tie it up, and then we can do the install now. I tie one more here. Okay, so now it should be good. So for now, we'll put this piece back, but before that, we need to drill a hole. But if you are doing the installation yourself, we recommend to do this step at last, because you want to test run the system and make sure everything is right before you put back the piece. But since we are doing the installation video, I'll teach you how to do it now. So this is the cover. Normally for most of the people, they want the button on the right side. So just remember where it is, just flip it around. So now become my left side. So I will take out my electrical drill, and the drill bit is included in the kit. So this is the drill bit. I just put it back in place, and now I'll just set it into my drill. Normally this is where I drill. I usually drill it between these 2 lines, but it's up to you where you want to put the button. But just make sure you have enough clearance behind the plastic piece. So this is where I'm drilling. Then now I can take out my button. So this is the button. There's a screw cap behind it. I'll just set the button here, and then screw it back in. So now I see if the button is good. So it's good. So I'll just tighten it. And then here you can connect it with the button wire we have. So now I will teach you how to set this piece back in. So to set this piece back in, I usually start with from the left to the right. I will just try to secure all the white fasteners here, and then I'll push it up. So the trick is to first align here. I will just try to make sure it slides into here. Yeah, so it's secured now. Then I will just try to pull a little bit on the back, and then just make sure this channel goes into the right tab. Okay, so now I can slide it in. So now I have two fasteners secured. Then I'll continue here. I'll do the same trick. Just do it like this, and then push it in. And the last one here. So now the four fasteners is secured. I'll go from the back side, and then I will make sure this are all aligned. I will do the 4 fasteners from the back first, and then there's one here, and then one here. So after you fix everything, that should be good. So we'll now do the wiring in the front. And here you get a really long wire. It's the power wire. This is the CAN signal wire. We actually have 2 versions. So if you have a pre-2019 car, so 2018 or before, you will have a smaller connector. This is for the 2019 or after car, but the installation step is the same. We'll show you later. And the last one is the CAN wire, which is this one with the little purple plug. I will show you how to do it as well. So we recommend to run the wire to the right side of the car, always on the right side, no matter if you're an RHD car or an LHD car. So always on the right side. So if you're in the US, it's on your passenger side. So we'll do the tapping, power tapping behind the kick panel here. So the first thing is to remove this little cover. So I'll just use my finger, go from behind and pull it out. And then use a flathead screwdriver to remove the fasteners, clips here. Sorry, yeah. So then you can take out the whole cover here just by pulling it up. So next we need to remove this cover. If you're a US car, this is one big cover, and then it's just hold by like a push pin, push clip. But if you are in Japan, Australia, UK with right-hand drive car, there's an additional T20 screws that you need to remove in here. So I remove this T20 screws here, but for US car you don't need to remove this one because there's no such screw on US car. The US car is on the other side. The T20 screw is on the other side. So I'll just loosen this, and then you will find some more push pin. Just try to take out the push pin that you find. I'll show you what the push pin looks like. This one is a push pin, so I usually can use my finger to take it out. This is the push pin that I talked about. So you just use a flathead screwdriver to slide in the channel and then pry it out. After you pry it out, you can take it out. Yeah. So I think for US car there are 3 of them. So for RHD car, you just need to remove this one and the one here, or near the screws that you remove here. But for US car, I think there's 3 of them. So after that, for US car you can take out the whole piece, but for RHD car there are 2 pieces. I will take the inner piece out. This one, just pull it. So you can just loosen it like this. You don't need to take off the whole cover. So you can disconnect this, but for me, this already gives me enough clearance to do the thing. So now I will do my 10mm head wrench, the short one. I will try to loosen, not remove the screws in there. I will show you how to find that little piece. Here, let me get my lights here. For me, this is the nut that you can see, the really thick red wire. It ends in the nut. So I usually don't need to see it, I just need to feel it. Yeah, so you use your hand to feel it where it is, then you can just try to loosen this nut and then just insert our power tap wire into it. So I'll show you how to do it now. The reason I say you really need to have a plastic handle or wrap it with plastic tape, because when you do the unwrenching, here is the ground. I think there's some metal with the ground as well. If you accidentally touch it with this screwing on the 12 volt, it will create a spark and a short. The car will be fine from my experience, but you need to do a pan-out reset. It will be a horrible experience. So just wrap it with plastic and then you will be safe. So I just try to assess here, and then I just loosen it. So try to loosen not too much, and then you can find this power tapping wire. I just tap it behind the nuts. See if you can tuck it in. If not, then just try to loosen a little bit more. This is how I do it. Yeah, if you over loosen it, then after you tuck it in, it will be very difficult for you to tighten it again, because this will keep falling out. So I usually just do it to a point that it's just can lock the connection, and then I can still, yeah, now it's good. So I can slide it in, and then it won't fall out easily. Then I can now retighten the nuts again. Now I've tapped it to here. Yeah, you see that this is the red wire. Yeah, and then I tap the cable behind the nuts here, so it's good. So here is the power wire. You can see that there's one side with the silver side. You need to connect to the power tapping wire. So remove the white connector from the power tapping wire, so you can just insert the silver plug into the white connector. So the U-side shape should align with the flat surface, and then go plug back inside. And then now you can run the wire along the floor. So make sure you don't block the hole here. Yeah, so because it will block when you install back the trim piece. So make sure it doesn't block the way of the hole. So just run the wire along here and all the way to the back. So yeah, so that's basically how you run it. And then now now we will run the CAN signal cable, the wire. So you need to run it through this hole to the middle of the car. So normally you can just insert the black side of the wire, the black connector wire side. Normally it will be good enough, but if you cannot do it, just use a fishing wire. It will be easier. So we'll insert it and then get it from here. So you can see I have run the wire here. I'll continue to run it here. Just make sure it goes to the back of the center console here. So use your own way. Okay. So here I'll just run it to here. Then I'll remove this little cover. So normally you can use an Allen hex key. So insert it here and then rotate it and pull it out. I usually use a fluid head screwdriver to insert from this little gap, and then just pry it out from here. But yeah, either way will be fine. I recommend using the Allen hex key. The way I use it, because I have done it for a lot of time, I know how to do it. So here you can find the blue connector or white connector. So for 2018 car, it's a white one, but it doesn't matter. Just disconnect it, and then get our CAN wire, connect it. Make sure it clicks. We have a customer that he did not make the connection secure enough. Then when he lost his car, he cannot unlock the car because the security module is on here. So make sure it clicks. If you just want to make sure, you can lower the window and then close all your door after you make this connection. and then try to unlock it and see if it can unlock. If it can unlock, it should be fine. But yeah, just make sure it clicks. And then I'll just set this wire. I'll connect this to the wire I run first. Okay, so I'll set this into this little hole here. After that it's done, and I can put my cover back. Like this. Okay, so here is done. Now we have our car power wire, we have our CAN wire, we can continue to run to the back. So just continue to tuck it in here and then go all the way back. I'll continue here. I'll continue to tuck below the trim piece here. So here I will do a little bit of change of the route. I'll go from here to here, so I'll just try to pull this out a little bit, and then I'll just run the wire to here. Just put it behind. Yeah. So now it's good. I can connect it back. To reconnect this piece, there's a tab here, so you just need to, yeah, you hear the sound. It's good, and then you connect from this side, and then I'll set this back. Just so run the wire at the same time along this line. Continue here, put it in, and then just reset it here. Some people really want to remove every piece here and then do the run the wire behind it, but I don't like this way because you can easily break the piece. I will just try to run as few pieces as possible. So I'll continue to tuck in here. I'll now take off this one. I'll go back here first. So now I'll continue to tuck against here. And now my wire is here. So it's almost done. Almost. So I'll then just run behind this carpet piece here. So I continue to run behind this carpet piece here until I reach to the trunk area. So now this is the CAN wire, this is the power wire I've run into the trunk. So I just do the ground connection. So in the past we recommend to do the ground connection here, but if you have a long range or a performance model, we recommend to do it here. Yeah, just don't share, just avoid sharing the ground with the amplifier. So do it here. But for SR it doesn't matter. For SR just do it here because it's more convenient. I'll just do it in here. So now I'll run my I'll get my 10mm hex socket, and then I'll just loosen here, and then I'll run my ground wire. Just slide it behind the nuts. Yeah. And then we tighten it. Okay, I'm tightening it now. So make sure it's tight. Then it's good. So now everything is almost ready. We only have this piece left. So now it's time to take out our T45 wrench and screw this two screws here. So make sure you get the right driver, because if you use a T40, you will strip the screw. Yeah, now get the latch, our latch with the motor attached here. Yeah, you see, this one is our thing. Then we'll attach it back here. So it's important that you make alignment right. So I will try to teach you how to do the alignment. I'll show you my way of doing it. Yeah. So I just try to tighten it just a bit, but not much, so it can still be moving around. Now I get my flashlight ready. I'll pull down the trunk hatch. Just pull it down to here, and you see with my flashlight on from inside, I can try to align here. I will try to see how this lower latch align with the channel here. So it's better if you can align it in the center, so you have the least friction when you do the hatch down, so you can do a soft closing. So otherwise, if you do not align well, then you need to increase the closing force. But of course, for some car, no matter how you align, you need to increase the force. It's due to the car variation. But let me try to do it here. So I just try to adjust it well. Okay. So now I adjust it well in the middle and as up as possible. I can tighten it. Okay, so now it's done. So what we do with this latch motor is we usually will wrap it with the foam. Because we'll set it in the lower side of the trunk, it's better you provide some soundproofing material, because it will try to, when you try to pull, it will try to move around. So this is what I normally do it. Or you can use more material to wrap it around. But for me, doing this will be enough. So I will use my electrical tape to wrap it around and then put it there. Then I'll show you. So now I wrap it. When you move around, it will not hit around. Yeah. So I just set it below here, in this cavity here. So even if you have a subwoofer here, there are lots of space in the bottom. So I just set it here. So just set it like this. So now everything is finished. We can tidy up the cable later. But now let's try to get our control unit and then do some testing. So this is the our control unit. We will use all the ports here. So I just plug everything here. You cannot go wrong with the connector. Only for the strut wire, just make sure you are connecting them in a pair. No, you can put in here or here. You can ignore the right and left, it doesn't matter, but just make sure you don't connect this one in here and this one in here. They need to go together. So then you'll be fine. So I will continue to connect everything. This one we haven't explained, so we'll talk about it now. So there is a cable here. Just try to connect this into here, and then we'll explain how to do this too. This one is actually useless. It's just for future potential use, so just ignore this. So we'll connect this, and then we'll connect the rest, and then we'll show you how the final connection. But you can see the lights will start blinking right after you plug in the power. So now we have connected everything. We just need to connect the final thing, the buzzer, and this is a light wire. So this used to power up the trunk lights. So you remove, you connect this first, and then you will contain two connectors, one here and the one further away for the left side. So you remove the plug of the lights from the OEM lights here, and then reconnect the lights in here. Yeah, we'll connect it later, and then we'll set the other side. No, this one, sorry. Yeah, so this one we'll just connect it in this side. So remove the existing connector from the light and then connect this one. Yeah. So we have set the first the controller in here. For SR Plus, we usually set it here, but if you have a subwoofer, we stick it towards the wall of the subwoofer. So make sure the SD card slot here is facing outward, so you can do the updates easier. So this is the cast lock here. So I just stick the buzzer around here. Yeah, this is where I usually stick it. Now let's try to do a test run first. We need to first initialize the system. So in here, the button, try to hold it until you hear a beep. And then release it, and it's initialized, and the height is set to the maximum height. So we can just try to push the button and see if it closes. So it's good. Then you try to do the opening again. So at least run it twice to make sure, because the first time you will close a lot in a bigger force, but the second time you will adjust, and then we'll try to close at a closer force, and then you will, if it works, then it will work. If it doesn't work on the second try, then you need to do a closing force adjustment. Now we will do the foot sensor. If you did not purchase the foot sensor, you can just tidy everything up after you test it. So here is the foot sensor. We have a double-sided tape on it. So there's a word means saying this side down. So this is where you need to stick your double-sided tape here, because this is where we stick it down. So we'll just try to set the connector like this. So this is the place that we took out. So it's better if you can clean it with alcohol. Yeah, you will make the adhesive better, but we are just showing you how to do it, so we don't clean it now. So this is where I normally set it. Yeah, so just try to press tight so the adhesive will do better. And then now we'll run the wire down. So in here you can see the wire. This is the wire that we need to run down. So we run down through the hole that we used to run the strut wire, so which is here. I'll just insert the wire into this hole, and then go all the way down. Yeah, this is the way to do the foot sensor if you have this cover. But if you don't have this cover, that means you need to remove the whole bumper to do the foot sensor install. Just try to rotate it until you find its way, then just tighten it here. So make sure it's tight, otherwise it's not waterproof. So now we can put this cover back. So put this back. And remember your coin. Just try to do this and then rotate it 90 degrees to lock it. Make sure you lock it. So now you can connect this with this connector here. This is the foot sensor connector. So just connect it. Okay, now we can test the foot sensor feature. So I'll show you. So to use the foot sensor, I will do a kick like this. Yeah. So a lot of people try to swipe or try to have their foot stay under for a long time. That wouldn't work. So let me try to show you how to do it. So it's just like this. Just go in and out without stopping. So it should work. Then we'll do another try. The foot sensor will be deactivated if your car is not in park mode. So if it's in drive or in neutral or in reverse, the foot sensor should be deactivated. And also, if you have the emergency flashlight on, the foot sensor will be deactivated as well. So let me try to show you by deactivating the foot sensor. So now with the emergency flashlight on, you will not be able to use the foot sensor to open the trunk. So let me try. Yeah. So yeah, it's deactivated. The closing is not deactivated though. So if you have the trunk open, it will not deactivate the foot sensor. After you finish putting this piece, it's better for you to test the closing again, because for some customer, after they push this piece back, the trunk do not have enough force to close because it creates additional friction. Then you might need to increase the closing force. So let me try to do it again after I put this piece back in. So let me try to do a test run again. See? So this is the case that if the trunk cannot do the last latching, so we are demonstrating this problem, then you will need to do a closing force adjustment. So to do the closing force adjustment, we will try to use this button. Also take a note, when you do the shock click, sometimes if you accidentally do a shock click here, you will hear one beep. That is not a good thing. So if you hear this beep, make sure you press again. 2 beep is good, 1 beep not good. So make sure you press it, make sure it's 2 beeps. So now we are doing the closing force adjustment now. To adjust the closing force, take out some kind of screwdriver, lock the latch, and then after that, hold this button, hold it, not shock click. You will hear 1 sharp beep first, and then 2 sharp beeps, so just release it after that. Now we set the closing force to 2. Now we can try to close the trunk again. Remember, do 2 try. The first try is always working, will always work. So I will just try to unlatch, and then initialize. And then close. Do two try, yeah. And then do it one more time. Okay, so this is how you do the closing force adjustment. So the whole whole installation is done. We have put back everything. The trunk electric tailgate kit is not that difficult to install actually if you watch the video. I think the most challenging point is to run this wire. Maybe run this wire to down might be a challenging job for you if you haven't done it before, but the most challenging job remains here. But once you get it done, the other thing is just simply following our video. Even if you don't have any experience, it will be fine to do the installation. This one might take more time. So if you are a first-time installer, I would suggest at least 3 hours for install. It can take up to 6 hours, but for experienced user or installer, you can finish it in should be within 2 hours. Yeah. So that's basically it. It's not difficult, and I think everyone can do it. We have customers that with 0 experience can install the whole kit by herself. Yeah. So I hope you enjoyed this video. I will see you next time. Thank you.